Welcome to the After Chat. I'm Michael,
I'm Madison.
and today we're going to be talking about finding God in nature.
Ooh,
Ready?
I am.
Let's do it.
Welcome to the After Chat. Real questions. Real talk. Real life.
So, where do you go when you need to think?
Anywhere I can go because I just need to walk. Does that
Okay.
make sense? Like
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be a specific place, but walking if I'm like really thinking by myself because I want to just go at my own pace and I don't want to have to linger with someone, or driving with no music.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
No, I like that too. I've mentioned before, I think I do like to drive with no music sometimes, and that is always a easy way to help me think.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not outside, even given the topic of
I mean,
today's
I don't know that that
conversation.
matters.
Like I like to clean my room, have it all cleaned out, buffed out, and then
What are you
have my
buffing in your room?
like just cleaned up.
Okay.
Like that's what that means.
You're like going.
I'm getting a floor cleaner and just buffing out the
Yeah.
wood. No, like I like to just like get my room completely clean, have my bed made, and just kind of lay on my bed and on my back with my pillow
Yeah.
and just have it completely quiet in a clean environment. That's something.
Yeah.
There's something that's very conducive to thinking and just pondering and whatever.
There's nothing quite as good as sitting in the space that you just thoroughly cleaned.
Yeah.
That's a good refreshing feeling for sure.
It's a little luxury,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
But I find it very conducive to thinking and pondering and just
Yeah.
whatever.
Do you like to people watch when you think at all? Is that ever something that you enjoy doing?
I mean, I do like to people watch.
Does it make you think or does it distract you to people watch?
Distracting.
Okay.
Because then I make up my own little stories for what they're doing.
Yeah,
and,
that's fair.
And how they're interacting and
Yeah.
that if I'm really wanting to think and ponder about something, I can be distracted very easily.
Yeah. Yeah. So definitely more secluded in your thinking time.
Yes. Like I can't have the TV on, I can't have any music on.
Yeah.
Just the sound of this fan spinning.
That's fair. Definitely. I've been a big fan lately of falling asleep to very specifically on Spotify, not deep brown noise 12 hours. Not that one. It's deepest brown noise 12 hours. It's like a different brown noise. I don't know. Because the colors of noise translate to the frequency that the sound is at.
Okay.
So like white noise is a different frequency than pink noise. It's a different frequency than blue noise, than brown noise. Brown noise is like the most, there's also black noise. Brown noise is the most relaxing in my opinion because it's just emptiness.
So it says here, pink and brown noises are frequently recommended
Yeah.
for sleep due to their soothing low-frequency sounds.
I don't like pink. In my opinion, I don't like pink.
It says, with pink noise mimicking steady rain and brown noise having a deep rumble. I saw a meme that said, it was a meme that said something to the effect of, my wife likes to go to sleep listening to pink noise, but all I can imagine is that it sounds like chicken frying in the oven, and now I'm just hungry.
I can see that. Honestly, I can see that. Like if you haven't like listened through the different colors, you should because it's kind of interesting. And like yeah, pink definitely would sound more
like frying chicken.
Yeah, but brown noise really is like a like for lack of a better way to impersonate it. Anyways, deepest brown noise, the 12 hours of it, and then falling asleep in. I'm like also on a big kick right now of like we're not talking about sleep, but for some reason I'm talking about sleep. I've been on a big kick of like trying to make my room as dark as I can make it.
Yes.
Because I enjoy sleeping with a sleep mask, but it always like inevitably falls off my face. So I'm just trying to make my room darker. It is like I think a lot more before bed, but like in a good way. It's not like it's keeping me up. It's just so relaxing that I feel like my mind is like, I can process now. But Yeah.
Love that.
Anyways, we're not talking about
No,
sleep. We're
we're
talking
not.
about nature, which is also a relaxing thing to interact with. So we're talking about nature, specifically within its seasons. Which season do you most come alive in? What season feels the most like you?
I like the 2 weeks that we have here, kind of in between fall and winter.
Okay.
Like, I like that.
Is that like a special fifth season?
I mean, here in Virginia,
Yeah.
it kind of is.
Yeah.
Because we don't really have like a true fall. Although we did have a little bit of a fall last year. Like that one almost lasted an entire month. I remember that.
I guess so. I don't know. Most of my reference is here. Like
Yeah.
you have reference from Midwest, so I
Yes.
don't know what other falls are really like.
Well, I mean, it's
but
just like an extended period of like the cooling period
without it being
before
winter.
Yes.
Okay.
Like here it goes summer, like maybe a week or two of fall, and then summer comes back, and then it's just winter.
Yeah.
That's just kind of the rub or
Yeah.
the way that it works out here. But back home, there's an actual autumn.
That would be nice.
And
to
so I
experience.
like that.
Yeah.
And we kind of get that here almost every once in a while. And I think last year it went about 3 weeks or maybe 2 to 3 weeks.
It does move quick, especially the leaves. Like
Yeah.
they turn quick and fall quick, and it's pretty. But I would say my birthday is in October, so like fall definitely feels comfortable. And like myself, I think I don't like being hot. So when fall comes and I get like the relief of like it being crispy outside and nice like that, then I can wear whatever I want. Like my outfit can be whatever. I don't have to worry about getting too hot in my outfit. I can layer more because I usually like the clothes that I want to wear that feel cool wearing. Like I like to layer stuff.
Yeah.
So I get to express myself more freely, I guess, when summer's over and I'm not sweaty all the time. And also some of the like the medication that I take makes like being in the heat like harder for me to be in the heat safely. Like I can experience heat exhaustion much easier on the medication that I'm on. So I just have to be more cautious. But I like fall. I also really like spring. There's something about like when you have that drive where you first realize, oh, I'm seeing buds on
Yes.
trees and I'm seeing flowers start to bloom and like that warmth coming back in. Like that's nice too.
No, it is. And there is something cool to that. Like Brother Lawrence, he wrote
Yeah.
a book like way back in like the 15th century. And whenever he saw like the trees begin to bud,
Yeah.
like it just stirred something in him. We should have brought the stuff to talk about that. That would have been a lot.
That would have been
That
cool.
could have been a cool
I didn't
little
think of
read.
that at
Yeah.
all. Yeah.
But anyway, so I can give you the Cliff's note. So Brother Lawrence was a monk. I believe lived in France in the 15th century, and he had an epiphany. Like something spoke to him whenever he was looking at nature and he saw the trees begin to bud again, and it just had this like a general revelation or special revelation. That of God taking things from death to life.
Yeah.
And he ended up going and joining a monastery and became a cobbler there for a while and did a whole lot of other jobs and just learned to live in communion with God. But it all started with an experience out in nature.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome.
So I think
I
that's
love
a
it.
good segue
That is.
into this piece of scripture here.
Yes.
So we're just going to look at some pieces of scripture that reference nature and creation, and then kind of take a second to kind of unpack it and see how we relate to it.
Yeah.
Both of us. So Romans 1:20. For since the creation of the world, God's invisible qualities, his eternal power and divine nature have been clearly seen, being understood from what has been made, so that people are without excuse. So here Paul is kind of reminding us that creation itself reveals God's power and character. Like
cool.
every mountain peak, ocean wave, starry sky points to a creator who is both powerful and divine. That's really what he's getting at here. And so one of the questions you can ask yourself from this is, do we take time to notice
Yeah.
those things, or do we just take it for granted, or do we ever just take a time to step back and just marvel at what God has made?
Yeah, I like specifically that you mentioned mountains, because I think with each of these scriptures, I think there's probably going to be a specific aspect of nature that like it makes me think of.
Mm-hmm.
And for this one, there's nothing that makes me feel more aware of just how giant everything in existence is. Like nothing really compares to like looking at a mountain, and
Mm.
then to think through the fact that God created that mountain. And that's not even the only mountain. There's a range. Oh, and also there's multiple mountain ranges to begin with. It's like that power is just so evident. And probably also like crashing ocean waves. I think I could also
Mm.
see it in that. But like just the scale that our world is at, it I don't know. I just feel real small when I think about it in a good way. Like
Yeah.
I know I'm protected and I'm cared for because the divine person who created all of this created me too and loves me. Like it's just I don't know. It's cool.
I think so. Went to the Highland State Park, and you go up into the mountains. It's this trail, and
Mm.
there's these wild ponies that live up there, and
Mm.
they're super cool. And I remember just walking back down it and just thinking like how cool it is that God made this mountain and knew that
Yeah.
I would be walking down here one day, just pondering him and thinking about him. It
Yeah.
just makes you feel like really small and very humble.
Yeah. Yeah. And also like it inspires me to be more creative also, because we were created in the image of God, and he is a creative being, because look at all of the beautiful things that he has made for us to get to see his qualities in. It's really cool. Yeah. All right, should I hit us with the next scripture?
Yes.
Okay, so we've got Psalm 19, 1 through 2. The heavens declare the glory of God. The skies proclaim the work of his hands. Day after day, they pour forth speech. Night after night, they reveal knowledge. Which this is one of my favorite things to do, is to sit and like look at stars. Do you ever get to like
Oh no,
stargaze?
I love looking at stars. Like it's super clear
Yeah.
at my house. Like there's no real light pollution, so you can see the night sky.
Mm. Yeah, I've been like a big cloud watcher lately. So I have the daytime thing too, depending on, how many clouds are in the sky. But like same like concept of vastness as like staring at an ocean, but this in particular feels uh more personal to me.
Mm.
Like just when I do get the chance to stargaze or to look at clouds, I feel like I get to uh talk to God in a different way than I usually would. And I can't exactly say why. Other than that, I just again, you can see the beauty of who he is and what he has created, and the intentionality of uh his craftsmanship in what he has created. I think it's really beautiful.
No, one of my favorite things to do in the summer is we go to one of the state parks nearby here,
Yeah.
and I like to just lay on my back and float in the
Mm,
water with my ears under the water so I can't really hear a whole lot of the stuff around me, but then just watch the sky and the clouds.
yeah.
That's one of my favorite things to do in the summer.
Yeah. I don't know that I could do that because I'm scared of bodies of water a little bit, like what's underneath the
Yeah.
surface of the water. But in theory, that sounds very relaxing.
Well, no, I mean, for me, it started out as like a form of cognitive behavioral therapy, like going
Yeah.
out and getting in a natural body of water. I'm
Yeah.
much more comfortable in pools
Yeah.
that I know probably have 15,000 various harmful chemicals in it. But to me, that seems safer
Yeah.
than than getting a brain-eating amoeba
Yeah.
from Bear Creek or somewhere else.
Yeah.
Because I had flesh-eating disease, so I went through a period of time where I was scared of getting weird
can imagine that, yeah.
rando diseases. And so, but once I got comfortable one going out into the water.
Yeah.
And then eventually, after a year or two, letting my ears go
Yeah.
into the water.
That's pretty brave.
It became just like a very cool thing for me, a very fun way and relaxing way for me to connect with God. Was
Aw.
just to go out, float in the water, and just watch the sky.
Yeah, that's nice. I like that. Yeah. I think it's cool that something that you started originally doing to challenge yourself ended up becoming a way that you could spend time with God. I think
Mhm.
that's really cool.
No, that was fun.
Hmm.
Job 12 verses 7 through 10. I like this one.
Mm.
But ask the animals and they will teach you, or the birds in the sky and they will tell you, or speak to the earth and it will teach you, or let the fish in the sea inform you. Which of all these does not know that the hand of the Lord has done this? In his hand is the life of every creature and the breath of all mankind.
Hmm.
Again, I think this just goes to look around and just ask yourself, could this isn't like a random chance.
Yeah.
Like there is a creator, and every breath that we take is held in his hands.
Mhm.
And we often think that we're the masters and the apex predator and the top of the food chain and all of these things. But here he's just saying, like, even the simplest creatures know its dependence on God. Nature can teach us, and humility can teach us humility, reminding us to trust the one who sustains
Yeah.
everything that we have here on earth.
Yeah, it makes me think of confronting um my own like anxiety over having my needs met.
Mm.
We have a song that we have been singing around here a lot more often on Sunday mornings called "The Lord Will Provide,"
Mm.
and the first line of the song is "Look at the flowers and all of their beauty."
Yes.
And then it goes on to talk about the sparrows being given what they would need, and that wouldn't God also give you what you need? And that song is great, but to like actually sit and look and think about a bird, in a bush scavenging for food, and to like just they're not sitting there ruminating over will their needs be met. They're just living their lives, and
Yes.
isn't that so free? Or you see like a mama deer and a baby next to her, and they're just enjoying grazing, and like, yeah, they're cautious of their surroundings, but they're just living their lives, and they're not
Yes.
preoccupied over if they'll be able to make it through the rest of the day. They're just living their lives. So that makes me want to be able to go into every situation completely confident in the fact that my needs will be met, and that anything that I need, God will provide it for me.
And there's something to be said there for just being in the moment.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
I mean, because if you're so fixated on this or that or whatever is coming, you're robbing yourself potentially of God speaking to you right there in the moment,
Yeah.
or missing him showing up because to paraphrase Yoda, always to the horizon you looked, never where you were or what you were doing. I'm sure I butchered that, and some Star Wars fan is screaming, but that was his point.
Yeah.
Was you're always looking out there somewhere else and imagining yourself somewhere else instead of being right there in the present moment,
Yeah.
paying attention and being observant.
Yeah, and then you miss out on noticing all of the things that you could be grateful for because you're not in the moment acknowledging how your
Yes.
needs have already been met. Like a very similar situation, sort of. I recently got to go visit my husband in England, which was, a great trip, and it was awesome. Leading up to it though, I was broke, like I often am broke, but this portion of time in particular, I was very broke, and I was like, I'm about to fly to another country with like barely any money that is available to me if an emergency happened. And I was really fixated on the fact that, like, yes, I'm going and this is great, but I'm getting distracted by just how worried I am about what if something goes wrong. So I like tried really intentionally. I asked multiple people to pray with me about it, but I said, I don't want to be spending this entire time worried about what's going to happen if I don't have enough. Instead, I should be thinking about how God has already provided. The ticket for my flight was insanely cheaper than it usually is. It was like I don't know, half the amount that we are usually able to find round trip flights for. It was in and out of Richmond, which meant I didn't have to drive myself 2.5 hours to fly out of Dulles or another airport. And like my flight on the way there was canceled and I had to get rebooked and there was no extra charge. Like there were so many things leading up to it where it was like this wouldn't have been possible if God hadn't have lined up this provision for me to be able to go in the first place. Why am I so distracted by the fact that I don't have a comfortable amount of excess to hold me over in case of an emergency when he's already shown up and provided all of this for me? And it was, it was very freeing. And I don't know that I would necessarily recommend for people to take that lesson and say, I'm going to go off and
I'm going to book a trip with no money.
I'm going to go make poor financial decisions that like get me into trouble. Like I wouldn't recommend that, but spending time thinking about how has God already shown up and provided, you experience so much more joy and gratitude than not being in the moment.
And then also think not just, well, had you gotten there and you stayed worried and focused on all of those things, it would have robbed you from being present in the moment with your husband.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like those are just other, like we can rob ourselves of not just seeing like creation around us, but when we're just so fixated on all these other things, it does rob us from being, this is a way to help train you to be in the moment with the people that are around you as well.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very true. The next one is another one of my favorites. Isaiah 40:26. Lift up your eyes and look to the heavens. Who created all of these? He who brings out the starry host one by one and calls forth each of them by name. Because of his great power and mighty strength, not one of them is missing.
I love that.
Yeah, like if he knows every single, like not even just star in the sky, but like there's so much more in the sky beyond stars, planets, moons, things that I don't fully understand. So I'm going to stop listing things. There's more up there than just
clouds
stars
and all sorts of things.
Yeah, anything, the satellites are, ours, but everything else he put there. Like just the fact that he is aware of exactly everything that is happening. He has done it intentionally. Like even if you think of the sand, like the grains of sand on the beach, like same thing as the stars in the sky. Like it's so beyond our ability to grasp holding awareness for all of it. Like we can't even comprehend the magnitude of how many stars are in the sky past what we can even see. But he doesn't just know how many there are. He put them there.
And he calls them something.
Yeah, and he knows them. Yeah.
And he knows you too.
Yeah. I like that. To me, that this translates to like I can easily keep this in my back pocket for when I think that boo-hoo, woe is me, I'm the worst person in the world. I'm not worthy of love. I'm not worthy of acceptance and any, because he has numbered and named what is in the sky. Why wouldn't for a human being who's created in his image, why wouldn't he love you so much more, know you so much more intimately, like
he made us, he made all of those things, but he only made us in his image.
Yeah.
And breathed life into us in the way that he did.
Yeah. It's really cool.
And so wrap up here with this one. How many are your Psalm 104:24? How many are your works, Lord? In wisdom you made them all. All the earth is full of your creatures. The variety of life, the ecosystems, the balance of nature, the way all things work for us and all the things here even to exist.
Yeah. Points
to a creator.
It does.
Whose works are countless, and you see it everywhere. Like even in like the vents of the ocean, there's little things that live down there that are designed to live there.
Yeah.
That are doing something. We don't know what they're doing, but
and there's probably a whole lot more that we don't know what it's doing.
And there's other things that we don't even know, but God put them there. And just take the moment take any moments that you have to slow down and just look at them and just marvel. Like that's one of the, when I went to the top of McAfee Knob and you just see the expanse, and it looks like God just put his hands down and just folded the earth. Like, and you're just looking out over it and it's just endless. You're just like, wow.
Yeah.
Like God made this mountain.
Crazy.
And everything out there that you're looking at. And he, not only did he make that, he made that for you to marvel at and to wonder at and to ponder him.
Yeah. Imagine how boring life would be if we didn't have beautiful views that like brought us joy to see and like just the beauty. Like we would be so, if we weren't able to look to creation for beauty, like we wouldn't even really be able to like have a reference for how to create ourselves.
Yeah.
Like it's just I get lost in the sauce a little bit on that one, but it's good stuff.
All right, before we go to the back half of this conversation, check out this clip.
Over and over again, we get this message that creation itself points to the reality and the greatness of God. The Apostle Paul understood this, which is why he would say much later in Romans, since the creation of the world, God's invisible qualities, his eternal power and his divine nature have been clearly seen, being understood from what has been made, so that people are without excuse. Without excuse for what? Well, for acknowledging God for who God is. The Creator. And Jesus said, if people are quiet about God's glory, even the stones will cry out. Stones, lifeless, no soul. Their point is to point to the greatness of God. And then the psalmist saying, let everything that has breath praise the Lord. So adding to the cry of inorganic objects is this chorus of every living creature, a collective ensemble of countless voices in creation's singular song, worship. Worship is the acknowledgement of who God is. It's the right sizing of our relationship. It's the appreciation for what God has done. Worship is the thanking of the one who made us on purpose. Worship praises God for his godness and for his ability to make us in his God-likeness. It shouts to a divided world our unity in Jesus. Worship is private sometimes. It's public at other times. But regardless, it's always focused in its undivided attention towards a singular being, God, Creator, Maker, the one who is great and worthy of our adoration. And perhaps if we could be quiet long enough, we could be inspired by creation's cry towards heaven. I mean, after all, even the rocks cry out. Everything with breath cries out. If only we could step outside of ourselves long enough to hear that song, I think it would inspire ours.
I love that message, and it ends in a very cool way.
Oh, it does.
That we're not including here.
But it's really cool.
And so we can't encourage you enough. The link will be down in the show notes. Go and watch that clip or watch that message because it really is good. And I loved what Brian said there. You know, perhaps if we could be quiet long enough, we could be inspired by creation's cry towards heaven.
Mm-hmm.
And after all, the rocks cry out. Everything with breath cries out. And, you know, the So Will I song.
Oh, yeah.
That's in there. That's also a piece of scripture. If the rocks cry out in silence, so will I. If the sum of all of our praises still fall shy, then we'll sing again 100 billion times. I can ugly cry to that song. Like,
yeah.
If everything else will, Lord, I'll do it too. Like,
yeah. Yeah. Well, I think it also it makes you feel like, particularly the lyrics in this, reading these scriptures,
yes.
it makes, worshiping is so personal.
Yes.
But this, it's not just personal. It puts it on a grander scale where you feel like you're a part of a choir, which like
Yes.
if you have never gotten to experience like singing with other people intentionally, like as a choir, where you're like really honing in on your parts and like refining the way that you pronounce things so that it's seamless, like it is fun. And it's like so much more fun than singing by yourself. That's what that song makes me
Yes.
think of, is that I'm not just by myself singing worship, which is he's deserving of it in whatever headspace I'm in. He's deserving of my worship, but I get excited when I feel like I'm a part of the grander scale of his creation, expressing gratitude to him for everything. Like
Yeah.
it's just, it gives me goosebumps.
For me, it's like, because it goes from such a large scale. If you thought, what was that?
I'm not sure. They're doing
They're
fun
decorating
things out there.
Um,
Yeah.
but it got. We're both easily distracted.
Yeah. There's dinosaurs. It's a lot.
But it starts out with the stars and the universe, and then it just slowly gets more and more personal until it gets to Jesus and us. And so it just puts me, it just makes me feel so humble that the God that did all of those things
Mm.
came here on a hill that he created, died for us,
Hmm.
and with his voice 100 billion failures disappear,
Crazy.
where you lost your life so I could find it here. Like we're not shilling for Hillsong here, but
Yeah.
like this
it's a good
this
song.
song it's so
They popped off with that one.
yeah, they really did. And
You know what? I think of a similar song.
Hmm.
And actually, it was part of my wedding ceremony when I got married. Was "Great Are You, Lord," specifically the bridge, and all the earth will shout your praise.
Yes.
These rocks will cry, these bones will say, "Great are you, Lord." Like
Yes.
that. Every time I'm like,
yeah.
Anyways, similar feeling. Both of those songs. If you wanna put yourself in that headspace, I would look up "Great Are You, Lord," and "So Will I," and then it's parentheses. What is that?
100 billion times.
I think it's 100 billion X or something.
Yes. So will I. 100 billion X.
Yeah.
No.
Very cool.
All right. So we've looked at the scripture. We heard from Brian. What is a go do from this?
Well, I mean, it seems a little bit obvious to me, but go outside, right? Like intentionally choose a destination and give yourself time to enjoy it and
Yes.
soak it in. Switch it up. If you're already outside a lot, maybe you don't need to see trees because you can see them from your back window. Maybe you need to see
water.
Yeah, water.
Or the sky or something.
Yeah, you could join up with friends and do like a little bit of a road trip and get to experience it together. Like there's a lot of ways that you could take this challenge, but go outside and intentionally spend time with God and think about his character while you are watching and observing the beauty of his creation.
I think the only addition that I would add to that is just take some time to just marvel at it. Like just don't look at it and say, Like, but like really marvel at it and just imagine the same God that created whatever it is that you're looking at, cares for you, loves you, died for you, and then thank him.
Yeah. Yeah. You can even switch perspectives in the middle of that because yes, the grand scale of like beautiful landscape to look at, great. But like, have you ever looked closely at a leaf?
Yeah.
Like the detail or like a flower, like you maybe looking at big scale isn't quite getting you. Shift your perspective to looking at small details up close and
Yes.
see if that helps kind of you shift into that space of marveling over just how beautiful everything is.
I love that.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Good stuff. All right. So please like, share, subscribe, comment all of the things to help our little channel that can.
Yeah.
And if you fill out the review form or leave us a comment that we read, we will send you an after chat mug.
Nice.
And we'll see you back here next week for another episode of The After Chat.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us for The After Chat. If you enjoyed this episode, share it with others, post about it on social media, or leave a rating and review. To be the first to hear our next episode, be sure to hit the subscribe button and get notifications for new content. You can also follow us on social media on Instagram at PCC Wired and Facebook at Passion Community Church. For additional resources and links, check out the description. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time on The After Chat.